So Opsa is also a graduate. Astu. So maybe like, can you give us update on how the graduation went? Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Tolosa. Thank you for to graduate me, and went so well. It was so great, and the feeling was also the best, and it was the best moments. The exams and also the defenses also went well, and the break also. I spent my break so well. Honestly, actually, I was in a bed last hours sleeping, so it was great.
Nice, Opsa. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I just got updated that the live stream has started. So if you're having a hard time joining this meeting, you can go to our YouTube channel and you can watch the kickoff from there. Since the limit on the number of people that can join Google Meet is limited. So please, if you have any difficulty, make sure to do that. So yeah, I think we can get started. So good morning, everyone. So welcome to the official kickoff of the A2SV G6 project phase. I hope you're as excited as I am because today is beginning of the much awaited project phase, right? So after weeks of mastering DSA and sharpening your technical problem solving skills and leveling up your soft skills to ace your interviews, now comes the next chapter, right? So now it's time to build, to develop, and to bring ideas to life. So project phase is where you transition from solving just algorithmic challenges to solving real world problems, right? So this is where you will learn how to identify problems, design scalable solutions, build end-to-end software that actually works, and more importantly, that shows up on your resume, right? So this phase is more than just coding. So it's been curated, it's been designed with insights and best practices from top tech companies all around the world. And we've also been refining it from generation to generation here at A2SV. So maybe it might feel a bit challenging at first, but trust me, this is the part that you're going to look back on and say that this is where you leveled up. So yeah, Europe and the project phase is going to be your gateway from zero to mastery. All right. So let's see what we have lined up for today. So first, you're going to start with an opening speech from our own Akash. And then after that, we're going to look at the objectives, the purpose of the project phase. And then we're going to look at the timeline, the different phases we're going to go through during this long period of project phase. And then we're going to look at the different roles that we're going to have and the responsibilities that are expected of those roles. And then we're going to look at our policies. And finally, we're going to end with the conclusive remark from our CEO and founder of A2SV, Emre Varol. All right. I believe we have Akash in the meeting. So Akash, you can, the stage is yours.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me well. First of all, I definitely want to congratulate all the graduates. It's a very important milestone. You should really be proud of yourselves, and you should celebrate this moment. It's once in a lifetime, hopefully, unless you want to do more, more bachelors. But the first one is very, very special, and I can tell you that it is a milestone that not a lot of people get to go through. Not a lot of people are lucky enough to even have the opportunity to it. So I hope that you value and understand the importance of what you're doing here. The second thing is when you guys were sharing, the things that you did over the weekend, and this is, I think, Yepsira, for you specifically. I don't think anything that you share is more or less demeaning than anything else. Being able to sleep, I think it's a skill to binge watch series and movies. I cannot, honestly. So if you can, I would urge for you to add that to your CV as a skill. For everyone that actually, either try to learn something new or they trying to do something different, also take that into account. Anything that you do, it will practice a part of your brain, a part of yourself, right? So the key here is to make sure that you practice everything. So relaxing your brain is equally as important as practicing it. So make sure that you know how to find a good balance. With that being said, you're all in this G6 education, and you know that the balance is very tilted to working hard, and that is because you guys want to be the top 1%. And this is why we're having this project phase kickoff. So up until now, you were able to, in a very fair analogy, you were able to understand what tools are out there. So if you're thinking about constructions, you know what hammers do, what drillers do, how they are supposed to be used. Maybe you did some test runs here and there, which is the same as saying you've learned about data structures and algorithms. You've learned some good coding practices. But now it's time to put that to work. And the beauty of the project phase kickoff, and honestly, it is my favorite, it's you get exactly what you put into. Any effort that you put into the stage is the result that you're going to get. If you're thinking of a gym analogy, if you go to the gym and you go to the treadmill and you walk, then you're going to get the results of someone who walks on the treadmill. If you go to the treadmill and you do an incline walk, you're going to get different results. If you go for a run and then incline walk, you're going to get different results. So at the end, you're going to see everyone going from the same starting point, but not everyone going at the same pace. So my advice to you on this specific phase is put the effort that you want to see of who you want to become after this project phase is done. Because I can tell you, it is in fact a one-on-one relation between what you give and what you're going to get. It's that direct. And if you're here and you have logical thinking, you'll see there's no better way of working in a structure where the results depend on yourself, only on yourself. With that being said, I think I'm very looking forward to see how you guys act on this project phase kickoff. And I'll make this very, very clear. If you are ever in need of some help, if you need something to be clarified, you can always reach out to me and to Emre. Don't forget that you have tools and you have people in this organization that have been through a lot. And having people that have more than 15 years of experience next to you to either avoid making mistakes that can get you into a road with no exit, or to even getting to a point where it can enhance your skills, it's always welcome. It should always be welcome. Thank you, Tolosa.
All right. Thank you very much, Akash, for your inspiring words and your advice. It was really nice having you. Nice. All right. So next, let's look at the deeper purpose of the project phase. So you will now be scaling from your problem-solving skill, from tackling algorithms to solving real-world societal problems, right? So this is the turning point where your technical ability starts making tangible difference, where your solutions don't just pass test cases, but also impact lives, communities, and industries, right? So let's talk about the three core objectives of this phase. So the first one is developing real world problem solving skills. So the objective of this project phase is so that you develop the skills of solving real world problem. Second objective is for you to acquire industry relevant expertise. So you can think of this as a boot camp that means startup meets enterprise, because what you'll gain here prepares you for real roles in any company all around the world. And the third objective is developing technical proficiency for enterprise software development. So you'll go from beginner to master in weeks with the tools and skills that companies are looking for. All right, so let's hear it from our core dev member, Misgana Gato. He's the project lead for the DIME, one of the core dev projects that we have here at A2SV. So Misgana, if you're in the meeting, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, everyone, for having me. All right, how are you guys? How's everything? So my name is Misgana Gato. I'm project lead for DIME. Yeah, thank you for the warm welcome. So just to give you like my experience as a project lead and also as a member of Core Dev. I had some suggested bullet points. So like I want to touch on those. And so I hope you guys can hear me, right? I'm audible, right? Audible.
Yes,
Perfect.
loud.
Perfect. So my personal journey basically started as a remote student. So after that, I have contributed as an intern, also as a full time on both product management and development. Yeah, so that is a bit mix of different skills, which have led me to be a very good and leader for a project that I'm currently leading. And so for you guys to give you like the overall product development process, how it is done in A2SV, I want just to give you some of like ways how we do it in A2SV. So what we do currently in A2SV is that we ideate projects. Probably that's going to be how it's going to be done for you guys as well. I think you're going to start with projects, right? So before you guys take on projects, we members of the core dev team ideate projects, and for ideation, what we do exactly is that like we pick on let's say sectors in the industrial sectors. For example, there education, transportation, right? AI, artificial intelligence. We pick on very hot sectors and industries so that we plan to find problems on those sectors, and for those problems we plan to ideate solutions that we can provide with technology, right? With software. Seeing other competitor products, right? And also finding out that this can be achievable, for example, in the Ethiopian context, right? So when we find that a project is very in a good potential to solve a big problem, we choose to implement it. So what we do is we design. We have a team of designers in here in A2SV. We give them the PRD. That's like the official name for document that lists out acceptance criteria plus user stories. And when that is designed, you guys can implement it for, let's say, web, mobile, and as well as backend. So that's actually like the overall flow of like product development. Right after implementation is completed, we do a beta testing, so that products that are developed will undergo under testing for selected users. And after we complete that, we can go and play them. So this actually just to give you an overview of how a product is developed here in A2SV. So that actually gives you like the overall development cycle, and it actually makes you a very fully rounded software engineer if you guys think of this process every time you implement a project. So I think this is like how we do projects at SSV. And the other thing I want to mention about my experience is that there are some core challenges that we face, like developers mostly face in this world. Even my team members, myself as a dev, are also people that I have friends with, right? They're challenged, and I want you to learn from this, right? From that experience, and so that you will not repeat them. So one of the biggest challenge that I've seen from developers is that being very too technical. What I mean by that is, so if there's a project that you guys are building, you have to first understand that the development or the project that you're building is for a user, right? So which means you have to understand the project or the software from user's perspective, and very be conscious about the user experience. So as a developer, the first thing that you have to do is like write user experience. For example, to give you example, most of like on our early like development phase, what we did is that, for example, there's a login page, right? The user registers. When they register, let's say they answer their full name, their email, if needed, their phone number, and then after that, they will also answer their password, right? So after they've inserted all this information, like we redirect them to another login page, which asks, for example, for their phone number or email, and also another password. This is I think easier for from development side, right? From technical point of view, this is easier, but it's actually very bad for user experience. What I mean by that is user would not want to go through all these processes just to see some dashboard, right? So this is just one example, and this is a challenge most of developers face, not here, not only in A2SV, but everywhere now. So what you guys can do learn from this is that you should always be prioritize user experience on whatever projects that you are writing, and also, let's say if you are writing side projects, that also think of the end user always when you write a code, and always work on a quality code, right? Just even if like the design is not very um, inclusive, right? It doesn't like list out every detail. You guys need to go to that and focus. So I think this is more about like the challenges us faced, and also my team members faced, and you guys can hopefully learn from this. And I think I can give you one more tip for you. So since I have another meeting, I want just to make kind of short here. So what my tips for making the most out of the upcoming sessions for you guys is that you guys focus on working on as many features as possible. So take as many tasks as possible. That's because you guys will learn a lot from the different features that you guys work on, and be very cautious with AI. So I know you have guys heard this from, let's say, social media and other content creators, but it actually is a very important topic, and you guys need to take away. Work on as work with AI, because you guys need to work on this. That's like it makes you very productive, but still be cautious and don't just copy paste programs codes, right? Understand what you guys are copy pasting, and also try to learn when you face new things. Uh, if you guys feel like this is a very new thing that like if you say an implementation that you've never seen before, try to sit and learn. What happens? You can go Google it and YouTube it and search and also learn from learn by that. And also my final tip is that always prioritize to learn by doing, right? Some as for me, for example, once I was in a tutorial help, right? So all I focused on was like learning, right? Learning by itself, it has its own addiction, by the way. If you guys always learn, you will also end up learning, because the mere goal of learning is to application, right? To apply your knowledge. So prioritize to learn by doing, and also do not fear when you see bigger requirements that you have never approached before. Always be confident. And that's like those are my tips. And thank you for hearing me, people. If you guys have any, okay, I think I have some questions. All right. All right. So, what makes a product person or product manager very special? Thank you, now. Okay. Compared to developers, they're very scarce and hard to find. And they're a secret skill they have that we don't know. All right. So I wouldn't say secret skills. So uh, they're very scarce, honestly speaking, because I don't know. Like, it kind of it needs a mix of some skills, right? When you're a developer, you need to write an efficient code, right? A very production level code. But to become a product person, what you have to do is like to understand the very own goal of a software, right? Every code that you guys write is the end goal is to have a user, right? So if you have this mindset, you can be an like product person. I don't think that would be very big thing to be. So one more thing as a tip is like, if you have a product mindset, that's enough. You don't have to be a product person or manager, honestly. So what can be that is, for example, if you guys are working on an educational platform, go try out like educational other applications or web apps, right? So what you can do is, for example, if it's like a skill bridge, hopefully you know it's right, one of A2SV's coordinate project, right? So it's mere focuses on education. So what you can do is go find the very hot other applications like Duolingo, right? Duolingo is the most popular educational platform out there. You guys go ahead and test it. When you test it, it's very user friendly and a lot of people love it. It has a gamified approach, right? When you see this, and also when you come back and see your project or what you're going to build, you will learn some lessons, right? How to be to prioritize users and your endeavor. Right? These are things that I would say. And I don't think they have secret skills. I will, but they uniquely blend different kind of skills, right? Product, technical understanding, and also users understanding. This through and also business understanding. These three are the major skills product manager needs. These are my point. If you guys have any question, you can put them on in the call message, or you can ask me. Okay, I don't think I have any more questions. All right, thank you. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. Back to you, Tosa. Thank you.
Right, Misgana, thank you very much for your time and for your very engaging experience sharing. I hope the students liked it. Thank you very much. Nice. All right, so moving forward, so let's zoom out a little bit and try to look at the road ahead. So we're going to look at the full timeline of how the project phase is going to look like. So we've tried to break it down into different milestones. So as you guys can see, the first week is going to be an onboarding phase. And during the onboarding phase, we're going to introduce you to the tools, the tech stacks, and the industry best practices that will guide the rest of your journey. You'll also get familiar with the processes we follow in the real world development teams, and therefore you'll be using it during the entirety of the project phase. And here is the important part. So you will be asked to select your top 2 areas of interest from the available tech stacks at the end of the onboarding phase, at the end of the week. So the available tech stacks we have are backend, front-end, meaning web, and then mobile, and then product and UI UX. So you're going to select your top 2 from these available tech stacks, and based on your selection, we're going to you guys are going to take an assessment so that you understand your current skills, so that we can place you on the specific learning track. So that means if you after selecting your top 2 available tech stacks, you're going to be assessed, and depending on your assessment, we're going to assign you to one of the available tech stacks, and that way the learning track you're going to take is going to be for that specific tech stack. So during the later days of the onboarding phase, we're going to introduce you to all the available tech stacks we have. So I would highly advise you to think carefully about where you want to learn, grow, and contribute, especially from the available tech stacks. And also make sure to prepare really well, since your performance during the assessment is going to decide which learning track you're going to be assigned to. All right, so after the onboarding phase and after the assessment, the next phase is going to be the learning phase. So for the learning phase, we're going to have 3 intensive weeks of focused learning. So you'll be starting from scratch, from setting up development environments to diving into advanced topics in just 3 weeks. So whether it's backend or any other tech stacks, you're going to get the chance to dive in deep. And then just before we finish the learning phase, we're going to dedicate the 4th week, the last week, to a starter project where you are going to work on a starter project. So performance here is also critical because it directly contributes to your overall performance evaluation. So how much you work on your starter project, since you're going to assess that as well, is going to directly contribute to your overall performance during the project phase. So it's important that you pass the starter project, because if you don't pass, you might miss out on the first week of the development phase. And trust me, you don't want to miss that. Right, did someone raise their hand? No. All right, so once the learning phase is complete and you guys are done with the starter project, for the last phase of the project phase, we're going to have the development phase. So we're going to form teams. We're also going to assign project ideas. And then after that, you're officially going to start working on those projects. So you won't just jump into code. So we're going to follow every step of a real-world product lifecycle. So that means you're going to conduct product research during this phase, define the problem, create all the necessary documentations, design the architecture, write code, test, and deploy. So it's a full cycle software development, starting from idea to implementation. And then once the development phase is done, we're going to select the top projects, and then we're going to recognize those projects. So this is how the timeline looks like for the entire project phase. And more details on each phase is going to be shared with you moving forward. All right, next, let's talk about the track assignments. So like I said, we're going to dedicate the last day of the onboarding phase to track assessments. So, and just before that, we're going to introduce you to all the tech stacks we have. We're going to dedicate days for those, and then that way you're going to have some time to think about where you want to join and where you want to contribute. And then once you make the decision, we're going to roll out the assessments, and after the assessment is complete, you will know which learning tracks you've been assigned to. The other thing is roles. So during this project phase, you're going to have different roles at different stages of the project phase. So during the learning phase, we're going to have group track leaders and group track members. And during the development phase, we're going to have project leaders, team leaders, and team members. So let's look at the responsibilities. Maybe before we look at the responsibilities, so for the roles, group track leader is going to be the leader of that specific track, and group track members is basically going to be the students, meaning you guys. And for the development phase, since the development phase is going to start once we have formed the teams, and also you guys are assigned the project ideas, we're going to have one project lead for each project idea we have. And after that, we're going to have team leaders for all the tech stacks that are going to be under that project idea. So if the project is going to have a mobile end and a backend end, so we're going to have separate team leaders for those stacks. And the team members are basically going to be you guys. So the responsibilities of the group track leader is going to be supervising and guiding the team members since this is during the learning phase. They're also responsible to monitor the progress of the starter projects. They're going to ensure regular attendance of the team members. And for the group track members, so all that's expected of you guys is to maintain regular attendance. So we're going to talk more about this on the policies because there is a change, right? The project phase it's not in person, it's remote. So that's going to have some implications, and we're going to talk more about that during the policies. So as one responsibility that's expected of you during the learning phase, not just the learning phase, but the entire project phase, is for you to maintain your regular attendance, successfully completing assigned learning materials, and also the assessments that come after those, and actively participating in group activities. So we highly encourage you to be very proactive and participate in all the group activities that are going to come up. All right, next is our policies. So most of them you're already familiar with, but we've selected a few since we wanted to emphasize more on those. So the first is the working hours. So project phase is going to look a lot like a camp, a boot camp. In that, the session is going to take the whole day. So in the morning, the session is going to start from 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. And after which you're going to have a lunch break. Then after that, the session is going to start in the afternoon from 2 p.m. until 6 p.m. And the other is attendance. So regarding attendance, you are expected to have minimum of 85% attendance during the project phase. But we highly recommend that you don't miss any of the sessions unless something that you can't control comes up. Hopefully that will help. Next is check-in and check-outs are also going to be recorded regularly. Like I said, this time things are a bit different, right? So we've been exchanging ideas between the three schools we have, and Bernie was telling us how having sessions remotely for AIT was really affecting the attendance and the overall quality. So this time we don't want that to happen. So we don't want you to slack off just because the sessions are remote and stuff. So we want you to get the best out of this phase, and this phase is a really long one. It might get tiresome at some point, but we want to keep going strong. That means the heads are going to have to be responsible, and the students should also do the same. So we highly recommend that you guys take this seriously. So don't be late. Make sure you join the sessions and do everything that's expected from you. So we're going to closely monitor your progress, and hopefully you guys are going to do everything that's expected of you. Right, next is heads up policies. You guys already know this, 30 minutes prior to the session start time. So if you have, if anything comes up and you won't be able to attend the sessions, or you're going to be late, you have to write heads up 30 minutes prior. The heads up should be clear, concise, and over communication is always better than under communication. So try to be as descriptive as possible in your heads up. So yeah, these are our policies. So if we have Emre in the meeting, I think Emre can give us conclusive remarks, and then we can end the kickoff with the quote of the day. We have Emre. Let me ping him. Give me a second. All right, team. I pinged him up and he said to wait 2 minutes. So in the meantime, if you have any question regarding the timeline, the policies, anything related to the project phase, maybe let's have a Q&A session, and you guys can ask, and we'll try to answer any questions that you have. You don't have to raise them. You can write it in the in-call messages if there is anything that's not clear. I think the timeline is including the gap is 3 a.m. Abdurrahim asked a really good question. So his question is, it says, I think the timeline excluding the gap is from 3 a.m. in the morning until 12 p.m. local time. So his question is, does it mean we have to be online the entire time? Yes, especially during the onboarding phase. I guess you guys have already seen the calendar invites, so it's packed. You don't want to miss any of those sessions. And you're expected to be around the whole time. And during the learning path, the learning phase, we're going the track leaders. So the track leaders are to be around during these times. And if you have any questions, they're always going to be available to answer them and to help you, guide you through the learning path. Yes, Emre, we were just having a Q&A session until you joined. So since you joined, you can give us some conclusive remarks.
Thank you very much, Todi. First off, team, I am really, really happy to see that we are reaching to the limits of Google Meet. Whenever I see an A2SV event with 150 people in the event, I'm like, thanks God. There is such a great community of technologists, young, ambitious, that are going to change great things for this beautiful continent. So, first off, remember our biggest asset is each other. I am very grateful to be working with such a great community, like from our heads of academies to the head of education interns, education coordinators. There are great people with great hearts trying to help the future generations to do things better. So always remember, your competition is not with us. If when you get to age 35, you are not more successful than I do, it means I'm a failure, guys. This is how I look at this picture. Because when I was in your seats, I didn't have this chance to get experience from elders in a systematic manner. So if our system is working well, it should create a path for you that is going to make you better than what I do now. So this is possible, but at the same time, remember, discipline is hard. Nobody says discipline is easy, guys. I was watching Cristiano Ronaldo video a few days back. They ask, like he says, hey, do you guys think that it's easy to go to gym every day? He's like, of course not. It's not easy. I don't like it. Of course, I don't like it going to gym every day, he says. But I do because I want the results. And see the results he gets at age almost 40, scoring against Spain, helping his team to win a final against Spain in the last 20 years. This didn't happen. So he's a legend, one of the legends. There are many other great people. If we have some Messi fans, he is also another legend. At the same time, we got to see that to get to that level, you need to have that discipline, guys. There are multiple players who were rising together with Messi and Ronaldo that we don't remember their names anymore. They weren't the only talented players. We had many, many other people who cooled down a lot earlier. For example, Wayne Rooney. Remember, the guy was at 16 when he was brought to Manchester United by Alex Ferguson. So when he was in early 30s, he was on the second or third division of English League, guys. So everybody has a stories. Frankly speaking, this is not to judge Wayne Rooney's choices, but see that discipline makes a difference. So why am I talking about discipline in the project phase kickoff? Because team, this year, given circumstances, due to the national exams, we are kicking off remotely. And when we are remote, the level of discipline that is needed to perform is higher. Because, Tony, when I'm next to you, brother, I act a lot more responsibly. When I'm in my room behind the curtains, it requires self-discipline to act the same way that I would do when I'm with you. So in the remote environment, we have this challenge team. But this doesn't mean that due to the challenge, we are going to give up. Of course, we don't, right? At A2SV, number one thing we try to teach is having a never give up mindset on important things. So given circumstances, we will do our best. And I'm sure you have seen what kind of a beautiful program is coming next. Because when I was having conversations with previous generations of A2SVians who are currently graduating from university and about to join the workforce, you, excuse me, you have no idea how many people said, Emre, at the project phase, I started taking track X. So this is the beginning of the journey. Then for some people, they continue with the second year education at A2SV and they have sharpened their skills in that track. For some people, they have done some freelancing and they have sharpened their skills. For some people, they have done personal projects. But what is common in all those groups of people, they have started getting a specialization in the project phase. So this is a golden opportunity for you to learn one of the important branches of software development. Because, Tim, the world is changing. Software engineering is no exception. And if you ask me, it is getting transformed one of the fastest. When I was graduating from undergrad, as a new grad, it was easy to find a job because software engineers were very valuable. And in today's market, junior software engineers are not seen as valuable. Everybody is looking for somebody experienced because they think that the junior engineer can be somewhat replaced with AI, or senior engineer plus AI is more productive than having a junior engineer. But this doesn't take into account that there will be needs for future senior engineers. And if we do not invest in the junior engineers today, they are not going to become senior. But the companies don't care, guys. They care about profit. So in that regard, it is very important as a student to gain experience in different branches of software engineering so that when you graduate, you will have years of experience. So this is a golden opportunity to do this in a systematic manner. Tony, how many A2SV generations so far have gone through these learning paths, brother? Like how many people you think benefited from this and how many generations of updates we have made so far?
Yeah, I was part of G3, and I don't think there was any season, educational season, after that we didn't have a project phase. So I would say at least 4.
And brother, I can confirm that even with Group 1, when COVID hit, we did tracks. So the project development efforts at A2SV started in the year of 2022. Since then, we had the tracks, and things obviously are becoming a lot more professional every year. But see this team. People who have been working on those tracks are now engineers at Google, Bloomberg, Amazon. So when I was looking at the statistics, guys, I was mind blown. 40 Google offers, 25 Bloomberg offers, 15 Amazon offers, guys. So look at the picture. You don't even have to go to Uber, Databricks, Palantir, like with these 3 big companies, Google, Bloomberg, and Amazon, 40, 25, 50, the current numbers. And the numbers are going up. So this is the part of the journey. It's a beautiful part of the journey. You will start getting some specializations. In terms of analogies, what we have previously taught you helps you to open the door of big tech. And what you are going to learn in this phase is going to teach you what you are going to do after you pass that door and become part of the workforce. So see the opportunity, get the best out of it, become an active part of it. You know, don't expect everything. Oh, okay, this is what's given to me and I just did this. Everything is good. Go the extra mile. The extra miles make a difference. So there are advantages of being remote. You don't waste time with commute. You may have your mom's delicious food in the breaks. She may bring some fruits, Munawan, right? So those are the advantages. Like there is no one-sided coin in this life, guys. I've never seen. The coin always have 2 sides. So my recommendation to all of us, let's also look at the bright side. This will also teach us resilience. No matter what, whether we have the physical space or not, we will be able to keep the ball rolling and make progress. So I am really happy with the point, with the milestone that we have reached, team. Enjoy, learn, develop, get the best out of this phase, so that you can become a great technologist in the very near future. Thank you very much, Todi.
All right. Thank you very much, Emre. All right. Before we move on to the next slide, let me quickly answer the questions that were raised by some of our students earlier. And then after that, we can end with the quote of the day. So,
Todi,
yeah.
for the Q&A, I have reached out to some of past A2SVians, but it was a bit of a late notice. So I wasn't able to secure anybody. But there is one thing. I've also worked at TapTech for about 8 years. I can also help with the Q&A.
Nice. In that case, yeah, we also had Misgana. He's the project lead for them, and I think they really enjoyed. He tried to give them some experience sharing on how things work in the core dev. But yeah, so if you have any question regarding development, you can also ask Emre. So you can raise your hand, or you can write in the call messages, and I can forward it to Emre. In the meantime, Ebenezer Terrefa asked, for how long time will the remote education last, or are we gonna finish remotely? Yeah, so this is going to depend on which school you're currently at. So if you're in either of the science and technology universities, that means right after the grade 12 entrance examination, we will be acquiring the dormitories. And after that, we are planning to switch to in-person. But if you're AIT, I guess for now, we're going to have the sessions remotely. So hopefully this answers your question, Avini. Next is Dagmawit Sisai. I think it's similar to what Surafiel asked. So you wanted to know how the exams or the assessments are going to be, right? So the details are going to be shared with you. For the track assessment, it's going to be a Google form. Previously, we've had multiple choice questions. We also have maybe some coding challenges where you have to write some code and submit it on the form. But the details are going to be shared with you, so don't worry about that. The other is by Amanuel. So is this faithfully gonna be remote? I thought we'll be called in person after we get a joint. Yeah. So like I said, Aman, once the grade 12 examination is over, we're going to start the process of acquiring the dormitories, and then hopefully within a few days, we can do that and then have you guys in person. So if is there any other questions, team? If there are, you can ask them.
Okay, David, I can take this one. Is 3 weeks really enough to learn a tech stack? Definitely not, brother. So it doesn't matter which tech stack you are talking about. To become an expert in that tech stack, you need a lot more time. So is 3 weeks enough to have a good jump start on a track? Definitely. So that's the idea. Don't get that wrong, team. We don't expect you to become an expert in 3 weeks. Nobody can do that. But we know that in 3 weeks, you can have a very good jump start, because you will see that not everybody is at the same level. There are some beginners, but there are also some people who have been doing development for a few years. We have some graduating people from even G6. So in that regard, there are a variety of different levels. What we know, in 3 weeks, everybody can go to the next step. So you can get started, and that will give you enough guide so that you can also continue later on. Otherwise, you will be stuck in the middle.
Emre, I will also have a question for you. He said 8 years is a long time. Did you stay specializing on one role, or were you able to work in different roles during this time?
Different roles team. So at Palantir, I have done backend engineering. I have used, like I've learned the professional engineering at Palantir because prior to that, I've never worked on gigantic code bases. So I did research internships at Yahoo, and like in research, and by the way, Tim, I have a surprise for you. So in research, like usually you're not on a big product that is used by lots of people. So, research internship was more specific to writing papers, doing some experiments. So I really get my first, let's say, experience in terms of professional engineering at Palantir. And it's very different. And here, actually, I want to introduce our guest, Mohammed Alevi, who is one of our GP members, who has been a great head of education in GTV. And then he has joined Google, first Google Accra, now Google London. Such a brilliant career and such a humble personality. Like Mohammed is definitely someone I really feel privileged to get to know via A2SV community. So without further ado, Mohammed, how are
Hi,
you?
Marie. I'm doing good. How are you doing? And hi, team. Nice to meet you all. Um, it's really nice to see a lot of new names. I don't see a lot of faces, but yeah, nice to see you all.
Mohammed, these are our G6 members. And as you know, G6, like we had to go through some challenges, financial challenges, and some issues on the ground. So AIT now continues remotely, and Science and Technology universities after the national exam, they will continue in person. But the next 3 weeks is 2 3 weeks is remote for everybody. So in that regard, they are about to learn like mobile track, web track, backend
Nice,
track. It's just starting.
nice,
So,
nice.
Mohammed, the question to me was, hey, 8 years is long. Did you only work on one thing, or did you work on different things? And like I have given my Palantir part, so for the rest, I want to switch to you. So, what things did you do in your career so far?
Oh,
Maybe start time of A2SV and then Google.
okay, sounds good. Hi, Marie. Nice to see you. By the way, it's really great to also meet the team. Hi, everyone. So, in my career, I think I started working on development in A2SV at first. I worked on a bunch of things. So we started with a project called Traxim. I don't know if you guys had the chance to look at the website, but at the time, like I think the entire team was working on it. We were classified into mainly three teams. There was a mobile team, there was a web team, and also there was a backend team. I was working on the backend team, and I think I was also the team lead for the backend. Um, we we I think that was my first experience of working with a big team. We built a lot of features. We did a lot of things. It was during lockdown, so we all are at home, and I think the only thing I was doing at the time is like just going to bed and waking up and just continue working. And and it was also a really nice community because every one of us were staying at home, and we weren't like this was also kind of an opportunity for us to socialize and to keep talking, and it was really fun. I learned a lot of things about infrastructure and how um, basically a really good product should be built, and how you would communicate with the team, and how you would lead meetings, and also basically kind of the politics of working with different people, and kind of getting to know what people's like and don't like, and how you would convince people to accept like a certain future or things like that. And it's really helped me when I joined Google, just the experience of working in it was really I would say one of the greatest experience I had. When I went to Google, it was really plus. Then I think in 22 May 7, I joined Google. So I joined the Google Ghana Accra team. And the first team I got into was it's called Open Building Datasets. So the Open Building Dataset is like kind of a research team for Google Maps. The team was very small. We were only 5 people, and I think me and Abel were like the only young people, and the rest are like PhD, like researchers who have been in Google for at least 10 years or plus. And the thing we used to do was we get like these big satellite imageries from different satellites called like the Sentinel series. And basically the satellite have a 50 centimeter resolution, meaning like each pixel represents 50 centimeter by 50 centimeter in the ground. And what we are supposed to do is like extract building out of them. And those buildings are later added to Google Maps and also OpenStreetMaps. And we also like give it for free, like for different organizations. So at Open Building team, I think the main thing I got exposed to was machine learning. That was my first exposure. I learned a lot about like how to deal with like geospatial science, and mostly like at Google, since there is a lot of people also, like since the teams are a little bit more mature, you only got to focus on some specific things. For example, like if you don't want to work on, let's say, some aspects of like the project, you might not work on it like for the rest of like for a whole year or something like that. Which also has a good side and a bad side. And a bad side being like earlier in your career, it's always a good idea to get exposed to different fields. Then I think I stayed in that team for a year. I got to train the BIS model that is later used for generating like 60% of buildings for Google Maps. And that was also like a huge plus. And it was, it was a really good experience for me. And I had also a great mentorship, and I grew a lot. Then I moved to another team called the weather team for Google. Basically, so far, whenever everyone, I think still now, whenever people search for weather on Google search, basically we buy the data from somewhere else and we just display it. But we never had like an in-house, very proper weather prediction team. And so in that team, my main contribution was basically when we do weather prediction. So far we use like these big radars, like the things that look like a golf ball, basically. And we gather different weather phenomena like wind gust and like temperature and all those things. Then we do prediction upon it. But we wanted to do something completely different, basically use satellite imagery, say sees a cloud and try to predict whether that cloud contain rain or if it's just like a normal cloud. And that was like the first attempt of like doing weather prediction using satellite imagery and solely only using satellite imagery. I think most of my experience from Google comes from that team. I got to work across 3 different teams at the same time, like working on building libraries that are now used by like a lot of teams in Google to do geospatial science, and also working on weather models, which are like really complicated models, and also working on Google infrastructure as well. And it was a huge plus. Then now I'm working on Google networking and Google search. And basically what we do now is we take care of the entire Google infrastructure, which is basically getting to understand how node balancers are used within Google context, and how they are used to serve like Google search traffic, and not just Google search traffic, but also like our customers' traffic, like Spotify and Uber and Snapchat and the others. So.
Wow, Mohammed, what a career, man. It definitely sounds a lot more than a few years of experience. But very, very happy to hear that. And like, as you know, at ATSP, things are generational. So, AOCS, we will get to your question, Oh, now you changed it. Do you have a question? Yes, yes. Okay, if not, actually, Nati has a question in the chat window that I'm going to read for you, Mohammed.
Okay.
How is actually doing production level projects will pass? Is it most of the time coding or like doing discussions on how to solve a specific problem, or like a lot of documentation before you start implementation? Like maybe can you tell us, what kind of professional steps are taken there so that we can try to do it that way here?
That's a really good question. And I think I can't tell you like exactly what I'm doing right now. So the past few weeks, I've been working on something called like probing Google networks, basically trying like we create like these robot softwares where we release different parts of the network and they just move around and they try to probe what's really happening, like to notice like phenomena and things like that. And the things I'm trying to add to those probers are like literally 4 lines of change. Like literally, it is a 4 line of change. And it's been I think almost 2 months since I have been discussing with a lot of people and writing like this huge design document, which is like now, I think it gets to 50 page. And there is so many comments in it and so many people are commenting. So basically, I think it depends on which team you are working on. So when I was working on in research, I used to do a lot of coding because no one really thinks like or cares about like building something production ready, because whatever we get, it got rebuilt and it is passed on to the product team and they basically redesign it again. So the focus was a pace. So we want to build something quick, we want to try it. If it doesn't work, we want to move on to the next thing. But when we work on production stuff, we want to build it right. So everyone needs to agree and everyone needs to understand it. Otherwise, big outages could happen. I think a few weeks ago there was a really big outage that caused like half of the internet to go down for 4 hours. Basically, we really focus on like discussion and basically writing documents and trying to understand like what the changes would cause. And even if it's like a very big future, it takes like probably a year or something to land because yeah, there's a lot of like bureaucracy into it. I hope that answers your question, but yeah, you can ask me more.
So, Mohammed, just to add a little bit depth on this, the first thing I have captured, this really depends on the context. First off,
Yes.
like you have given two examples, one from the research world where you want to move fast. You want to see whether the approach is going to work or not without really making things very clean for production level. And there, like you write codes yourself, and it's not very important to have very high quality. Whereas at the production side, this is a very different story. Even for 4 lines of code, there is a 50 pages design doc with a huge discussion on it because maybe that 4 lines are executed billions of times. God knows.
Yeah. Yeah. Those
Very, very.
those 4 lines would change the way traffic would be generated for just probing purposes, and that's like a something very sensitive for them. So yeah, yeah.
Very true, very true. So, Tim, I hope this gives you the depth. Like, even as an engineer, to make 4 or 5 lines of code change, you may have to write 50 pages of a document, right? This has happened to you, Mohammed.
Yeah,
Very risky.
yeah.
Very good, very good. Thank you. So, another thing I need to appreciate, by the way, Mohammed, you still keep the Andy lessons with you. You speak beautiful, brother. Good can always be better, but overall, you sound very clean, thoughtful. I really like listening to you.
Thank you,
Next.
Imre.
So this is a more broad question. So it comes from Jitu. And the question is, what things should we focus on during the project phase? So, Mohammed, project phase is like you can think of the beginning of tracks. The
Okay.
division is made for tracks. People start learning those tracks, like learning paths. After that, development will start for a project. Yes.
Um, I think I would say something I can remember also from Traxim. Some of the lessons we have gotten along the way is discussion. Like discussion was really important. I remember like our team at the back end, we did some changes. Like we had like our back end team sync, and we would say like, oh, we don't like how this thing works, and we do some changes, and it will break something completely on the front end side. And we didn't really discuss it like upfront, and we didn't, because like you sometimes it's really hard to know how your users, even if they are programmers, how your users are using it. And something you consider like as a metadata, maybe it is like very important for them. They iterate over that specific field to render the UI or something like that, and it might break their code. And I think discussion among team and like creating like this team spirit and having to know people is really important in the early project phase. And other thing I would say, writing a good code. So I think like in A2SV, that is something most of us are like really good at, and like something we got to learn uh, because of A2SV. But we need, like you really need to mainly focus on like writing really good code, a very well documented code, and also using the GitHub system properly, like knowing how to create like a really good commit and like doing pull request and all those things. Because especially if you decide to join like big tech companies, this is how they work, and this would be a really good experience for you. Like this is something like that will stay with you, and you take on with your career. So you guys, I believe you guys should focus on those two things. Documentation is always really good thing. Uh, like I have a senior friend here who always says like, as soon as you write the documentation, it is already outdated. So even though that's the case, mainly like you should always write the documentation, and you should always try to update it. And I think that's also really good habit, and especially it will show the next person how to understand it, how to build upon your future. Otherwise, they will just scrap it and write from scratch. So yes, um, get to know your teams, have good discussion among yourselves, and also write a good code and documentation, I would say.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. Very good insights, and especially at A2SV, we really need to learn it. Because, team, if you want to become an A player, you got to play like an A player in your current team, even if your team may not be at the A level yet. So remember this. This is a fact. If you want to be playing, let's say, in Manchester United, Arsenal, let's say you are in Sporting Lisbon now, you got to be playing above the level of Sporting Lisbon so that you will shine. And then, the higher level team is going to get you. And likewise, if you want Sporting Lisbon to become number one, then everybody in that team needs to play like an air player. So this is a great opportunity to raise your level up as well as raise your teammates' level up. And what I'm hearing from you, Mohammed, is quality, right? Quality
Yes,
matters in everything we do,
it
from
does.
documentation to testing to implementation. Beautiful. So, like, we got to be mindful about the time as well. Mohammed, thank you very much. I will just get one last question. It's a beautiful one for today's world. So, how to handle the current AI development so that we are not going to be replaced by AI as software engineers?
Um, I I don't think I would have a good answer for this, but that's really good question. I often ask myself and like my seniors to understand their perspective as well. Um, I would say if you are really interested in AI, now is really good time because there is a lot of materials, and it's like it is a hype as well, and it's really easy to get started with it. Um, I would say it would be really hard to get replaced by AI as an engineer and as basically as a professional. Maybe things we do would definitely get replaced by AI. Um, so I think my advice would be get to know the tools which are already available. There is a lot of great tools. Get to use them. Try to like basically try to see how Copilot work and how you can use it to make your work more efficient and all those things. And if you are really into AI, start maybe start with basic courses. There are like a lot of great courses to begin with. I think there is this computer vision course I took a while ago by Fefe from Stanford. It was really good. And get to like basically pick your side, if it is LLM or computer vision or something, and get to read papers and see what's going on. I follow a lot of Twitter. Like I have like a lot of X feed, which I always use to keep myself updated. So I can share it with you. Any of you can just contact me on Telegram, and I'll share you the list as well. But I don't think you guys should be worried about. I know you all are young, so but you shouldn't be worried about getting replaced by AI so early in your career. I think there is a lot of bright future ahead. So.
Thank you, Mohammed. I want a little bit on this one. So, team, one thing we need to really understand about AI is that, so AI is great at sometimes solving some very complex problems. At the same time, AI still fails in very, very basic tasks as well. Like when you give a word with different, let's say, random number of letters and ask it to count one letter in it, this is a very difficult task for AI because it doesn't build the logic inside. Oh, okay, I will look at the appearances of A, let me go count. No, it's a language model. It works in a very different. It goes over a lot of data, so it is capable of fitting to what it sees there. But it's not really building logic like human does that you can transfer from one area to another. So what advice I'm going to give based on this fact, build real competency. Because when I'm dealing with a human expert, like I know that Mohammed 99.999% of the time can do tasks like count number of letters in a given word with 100% accuracy. So I can rely on Mohammed because I know there is a real competency there. But I cannot rely on the output of ChatGPT like I can rely on Mohammed's output because there may be such minor but embarrassing issue there. So like I can use maybe generative AI to get something generated, but I have to go over and review it line by line. Spend time, understand, see if there is any issues or not. So you get to see this. As long as you are like Mohammed, you have real competency, you won't be replaced. Beautiful. So, Mohammed, thank you very much for joining us. This was a real pleasure. Personally, I'm so glad to see your face, have a chance to talk.
Likewise.
Your energy is great, and I hope this was also helpful for our G6 A2SVs. So, do you have any last messages for our team before we close, Mohammed?
I would like to say it is really a pleasure to meet you all. Thank you. And also, it's really nice to see you, Imre.
Thank you, Mohammed. Likewise, brother. Maybe it's a tradition at A2SV, as you know. We have the quote of the day, right?
Yes.
Tabii. Yes, Mohammed, can we hear it from you, please? What do you get from this one?
Okay. The person who says it cannot be done should not interrupt the person doing it. This is really nice quote.
Mind is very powerful.
Yeah.
And team, like once we start doing it, really things happen. This morning I have invited Akash to Iran. So in total, we finished it in a little more than 50 minutes. So like there is like a V shape, like a valley. So we went to the other side of the valley, go to the top, came back. If I told him from the beginning, hey, this is where we are going to go and come back, he might have said no. But we started. So Nike's slogan is just do it, right? After you start, you will be able to make progress. So if you are here, it means you believe in this team. You believe in the transformative power of technology. So there are different roles that we play at A2SV. Mohammed right now is working at Google, but he has been a student at some point, teacher at some point, and still by heart with our community. So I am still here, but doing a different job, right? First group, Mohammed, I was your teacher, brother. I was head of education. There was no academy, no organization, no execution. So the roles change, but the mission doesn't change, guys. We are here still to empower, and our biggest asset is still each other. So I hope in this community, everybody is on the second group. So we believe that this is doable, and we are going to do it together. Beautiful. Thank you very much, Steve. Please have a great rest of your day. Hope to see you soon, everybody. Take care. See you.
See you. Bye.
All right. Maybe one more thing. So the sessions are going to continue starting from today afternoon. So the calendar invites have been sent, and we're going to send out the calendar invites for the rest of the phase. So make sure to join these sessions and don't miss out on any of the sessions. We're going to take attendance, and session is going to continue like it used to. So see you at 2 p.m. team. And yeah, have a good rest of your day, and bye.